my mother was part of Millennium Physician Group. She was going to see a general doctor. Her name is Dr. Truong, Troung. She's out of Fort Myers, Florida, and she's part of the Millennium Group. My mother was going to her for 2 years with a cough, consistent cough. And every time she went in, she said asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, take this pill, take that pill. And my mother was doing what she was told. So after 2 years of it not going away, she finally went in there because she had neck pain. And instead of saying, hey, let's do a CT scan, let's do an MRI, let's do an X-ray, she says, you have arthritis. Get yourself a special pillow. So my mother got that special pillow. One day she's mopping and she falls. And that night, my sister-in-law has a friend that lives in Florida as well, and she's a nurse. And she went out to dinner with my mother and my father. And she said to my mother, you don't look well. You need to go to the doctor. So the next day, my mother went to the doctor with her face drooping down to the floor. She had absolutely no feeling on her left side. They said she didn't have a stroke. They said she didn't have a seizure. So the doctor sends her for an X-ray. My mother has no control over her left side. My mother drove to that X-ray and then drove back. And the doctor looks at the X-ray, the only time she did something, only time, and says, I'm sending you across the street. She says, call your family. Turns out my mother had terminal cancer. Okay? This doctor does nothing but belittle patients. She pushes drugs, consistent drugs, one right after another. My mother had 10 rounds of radiation. 10 rounds. Radiation requires electrolytes. It requires fluid. Now, my mother also was on a water pill for her high blood pressure. This Dr. Chung decides to give my mother a very strong water pill. The water pill pulls the water completely away from my mother. My mother's sugar rises, sodium and potassium go down, and my mother winds up in the hospital for a week because of this water pill. So now we go back in there. Oh, it just gets even worse. I don't even know where to start. Bottom line, no, Millennium Physician Group is responsible for having a doctor like this underneath their umbrella. We looked up Google reviews. We looked up many reviews, and she has bad reviews. How can they keep a doctor like this underneath their umbrella? She doesn't let you talk. She right away cuts you off, and she did that with me. My mother was asking, how did this happen to me, Annabella? How did this happen, Dr. Chong? How did this happen? And she comes over and she goes, Annabella, I don't know, but our concern is to get you better. And I said to her, no, what my mother wants to know is, why didn't you do an X-ray? Why didn't you do a CT TAM? Why didn't you do an MRI? I said, my mother's not getting better. And as I'm saying this, she's coming towards me and coming towards me and coming towards me. And I put my finger up and I said, no, you sit down and you shut up. So she sat down. I said, my mother wants to know why you never did anything. I said, she's terminal. She's not getting better. And she looks at me and she goes, I have no comment. You have no comment? Then the following week, we have to go back in there. Her secretary calls me up, or assistant, very, very nice girl, lovely, Tanya. I'm called up front and told that the doctor doesn't want me in the office. Only my sister-in-law and my mother could go in. And I said, too bad. So she says, we're asking you to respect what the doctor says. I said, I don't care what she says. This is my mother. I'm going in. I'm on the HIPAA. I'm going in. So they said, okay. I went in. She did not address me, did not look at me. She addressed my mother and my sister-in-law. If I had questions, yes, she did answer them, but she was very direct, which at that point, I guess she should have been. Then I had to go back with my son, and because my son came down to help me, because at this point, my mother, the radiation has taken a beating on her, and she can't walk, so she's declining. And I was asking questions about my mother's sugar level, and she was very condescending. She said to my son, "You're a college student. You have your degrees. I'm sure you could understand this." Excuse me? Really? So I didn't say anything. I bit my lip, and we carried on. Unfortunately, my mother couldn't change doctors because she's a cancer patient. So now she has to stay with this doctor, because to change doctors down there is very, very difficult. And you're not even sure when you get an appointment, you don't have an appointment. Prescriptions were called in. We go to pick them up and they're not there. Then they looking in the system and they say, no, they were never called in. We call the doctor's office, and the doctor's office says, yes, we sent them in. Well, this pharmacy is not showing that they have them. 5 minutes later, there it is. There's the prescription, because they never sent it in. Everything is a call center. There's no caring whatsoever. They need to vet the people that they hire, because being a call center, you have no emotions. You have no feelings whatsoever towards the other people on the other line. It's just a job. My father has cancer as well. He goes to Dr. Chung as well in the Millennium Group. He will no longer be going to Dr. Chung, nor will he be in the Millennium Group anymore. This has been a nightmare. My mother died January 16th, and something could have been done, but nothing was until the very end. My best friend, my mother, grandmother, aunt, great aunt, husband, wife was taken away. Why? Because you did no testing whatsoever. You handed out drugs. So I have to say, she needs to go. They really need to, the people that they hire, I think they really need to look at their backgrounds, look at what they did before, their schooling, if any. Not everybody has to go to school, but you have to have compassion. You have to have a desire to want to help people. And if it's just a job in a call center in the medical field, I'm sorry. You don't know what you're dealing with, lives. And this was beyond a horrible experience for us. I would like them to speak to my father. I would like for my father to tell them what he feels should be her penalty, or what Millennium Group's penalty should be, because their customer service is horrendous. And I think that they need to look at doctor reviews, what people are writing on doctors, so then they can say pretty much like, maybe we should look into this doctor. Maybe what the reviews are saying are real. I don't know who controls her reviews or whatever. But I think that you need to really look into the doctors that you're bringing into your practice. And I know she's been there a long time. And I know that I'm not the first person to say that she's rude, she's arrogant, she's condescending. I know I'm not, because it's there, it's in the reviews, and I experienced it myself. So they really, really need an apology to my father, need to speak to my father to see what he would like done to her. I know what I want done.